I was 3 hours into a supplier meeting in Dallas when my phone started lighting up like a Christmas tree. Text after text, all from numbers I didn't recognize. Then one from my neighbor Carl that made my stomach drop. Dude, what's going on at your house? I excused myself from the conference room and called him back. He answered on the first ring. Tom, there's like 30 cars parked on your street. Music's blasting. Your front door is wide open. Looks like a party. What kind of party? I don't know, man. But your wife's out front with a bunch of people I've never seen. She's wearing a sash or something. Should I call someone? I looked at my watch. 2:47 p.m. on a Thursday. Jennifer was supposed to be at work. I'll handle it. Thanks for the heads up. I hung up and opened the unknown texts. The first one was a photo. My living room, packed with people. Balloons everywhere. A banner across the mantel that said, "Free at last," in glittery letters. The second photo showed Jennifer in the middle of it all, wearing a white sash that said "Divorced and loving it." She was holding a champagne glass and laughing. I wasn't divorced. We weren't even separated. I called her. Straight to voicemail. Called again. Same thing. I pulled up our location sharing app. The dot showed she was home, right where Carl said she was, throwing a party to celebrate a divorce that didn't exist. I walked back into the conference room. I need to leave. Family emergency. My boss looked concerned. Everything okay? No, but it will be. I drove straight to the airport and got on the next flight home. 3 hours in the air with nothing but my thoughts and a phone full of texts from strangers who'd somehow gotten my number. Most were friends of friends, saying congratulations, asking what happened, sending condolences. One was from Jennifer's sister, asking if I was okay. I didn't respond to any of them. When I landed, it was 8:30 p.m. I called Carl again. Still going? I asked. Yeah. Got louder, actually. Cops came by once around 6. Someone must have called about the noise. They left after talking to your wife. Thanks. I'm 20 minutes out. I didn't go straight home. I stopped at the police station. The desk sergeant looked up when I walked in. Help you. My wife is throwing a party at my house. A divorce party. We're not divorced. We're not separated. I'm still on the deed. I've been out of town and came home to find my house full of strangers. He raised an eyebrow. She changed the locks? I don't know. I haven't been home yet. You on the deed? Yes. Jointly owned. Then you have every right to enter. You want an officer to accompany you? Yes. He nodded and made a call. 10 minutes later, Officer Martinez met me in the lobby. Young guy, early 30s, with the calm demeanor of someone who'd seen weirder things. Walk me through it, he said. I showed him the texts, the photos, the banner. He looked at them and shook his head. People never cease to amaze me. Let's go. We took separate vehicles. I followed his cruiser through streets I'd driven for 8 years, past houses where neighbors were probably watching through curtains, wondering what kind of marriage fell apart so publicly. My street was packed. Cars lined both sides. I had to park 3 houses down. The music was audible from there. Something upbeat and obnoxious. Bass thumping through closed windows. Officer Martinez walked to my driveway like he owned it. I followed. Through the open front door, I could see people everywhere. My couch. My chairs. My kitchen. Holding my glasses. Eating off my plates. Laughing like they'd been invited to something that mattered. Jennifer was in the center of the living room, still wearing the sash, now holding a microphone someone had set up. She was mid-sentence when she saw me in the doorway with the cop. The smile fell off her face like ice off a roof. Tom, she said into the microphone. It echoed through the house. Everyone turned. Jennifer, I said back. Flat. Even. Officer Martinez stepped forward. Ma'am, I'm Officer Martinez. This is your husband. Yes, but... And you throwing a party to celebrate your divorce? Yes. Are you divorced? She hesitated. Not yet. But I filed. When? This week. Has he been served? Not yet, but... So you're throwing a party for a divorce that hasn't happened, in a house you jointly own, without your husband's knowledge or consent. Her mouth opened. Closed. It's my house too. That's correct. Which means it's also his house. And he's asking everyone to leave. You can't do that, someone shouted from the kitchen. A woman I didn't recognize, holding a glass of what used to be my wine. This is her party. Officer Martinez turned to her. This is private property. The owner is requesting you leave. If you don't, you're trespassing. Owner. The woman scoffed. She lives here. So does he. And he's the one asking you to go. I stepped into the house and raised my voice. Everyone needs to leave. Now, take your drinks, your food, whatever you brought. You have 5 minutes before I start calling for backup and pressing charges." The room went silent except for the music. Someone turned it off. Jennifer stepped toward me. "Tom, you're embarrassing me. You threw a divorce party before serving me papers. In our house. With our things. I'm not the embarrassing one here. I was going to tell you." "When?" "After the cake." She flushed. "I filed on Monday. You were going to get served tomorrow. So you decided to celebrate early. I needed this. I needed to feel free. You're not free. You're married. And you're throwing a party with community property that I paid for." Officer Martinez cleared his throat. "Ma'am, I'm going to need you to ask your guests to leave. If they don't comply, I'll have to start taking names." Jennifer looked around the room. Her friends, her coworkers, random people I'd never seen stare back. One by one, they started moving, grabbing purses, setting down glasses, muttering apologies or nothing at all. "This is bullshit," someone said as they passed me. I didn't respond. It took 15 minutes to clear the house. Jennifer stood in the kitchen the entire time, arms crossed, glaring at me like I'd ruined something sacred. When the last person left, Officer Martinez turned to me. "You want to file a report?" "Not yet, but I want a record of this. I'll write it up. If anything escalates, call us." "Thank you." He left. The door closed, and it was just me and Jennifer in a house that smelled like beer and cheap perfume. "You had no right to do that," she said. "I had every right. This is my house. It's our house, which you turned into a circus without asking me. I don't need your permission to celebrate. You do when you're celebrating something that hasn't happened. When were you going to tell me you filed?" "Tomorrow, after you got served." "Why not before?" "Because I knew you'd react like this." "Like what?" "Like a husband who just found out his wife is divorcing him." She looked away. "I needed to do it my way. Your way involved humiliating me in front of strangers. You're always so dramatic. I'm standing in my living room, where you threw a party to celebrate leaving me, and I'm the dramatic one." She didn't answer. I walked through the house, taking inventory. Red wine stain on the couch, chip in the coffee table, a broken picture frame on the floor, our wedding photo, the glass shattered. I picked it up. "When did this happen?" "I don't know. Someone must have knocked it over. Or you did." "I didn't. But you didn't stop them." She sighed. "Tom, I'm tired. Can we do this tomorrow?" "No. We're doing it now." "Why did you file?" "Because I'm not happy." "Since when?" "Since a long time." "Be specific." "I don't know. A year. Maybe more. And you didn't think to mention it." "I tried." "You didn't listen." "When did you try?" "All the time." "Give me one example." She paused. "I told you I felt disconnected." "When?" "Last month. You said you were stressed about work." "That's not the same thing." "It's the same to me." I set the broken frame down. "Who helped you plan the party?" "My sister." "And Rachel?" "Rachel from your office?" "Yes. The one who told you I was controlling." "She didn't say that." "You told me she said I was too involved in your life." "That's not the same thing." "It's close enough." "Who else knew?" "Just my close friends." "How many people were here?" "I don't know. 30. 40. 40 people knew you were divorcing me before I did." "Tom, did any of them ask if I knew? If I'd been served? If maybe this was premature?" "They were being supportive. They were being enablers." She slammed her hand on the counter. "You don't get to tell me who my friends are." "I'm not. I'm telling you they helped you throw a party for something that isn't real yet. That's not support. That's theater. I needed it." "Why?" "Because filing the papers was the hardest thing I've ever done. I needed to feel like I made the right choice." "And did you feel like you made the right choice?" She looked at me. Really looked at me. For the first time in months, I saw something other than irritation in her eyes. Doubt maybe. Or regret. "I don't know," she said quietly. "That's not good enough. You filed papers. You threw a party. You told 40 people our marriage is over. You don't get to be unsure now." "I'm allowed to have feelings." "You're allowed to have feelings. You're not allowed to humiliate me while you figure them out." I walked to the stairs. "I'm sleeping in the guest room. Tomorrow, you're going to clean up this mess. And then we're going to sit down and talk about what happens next. But tonight, I'm done." I went upstairs and locked the door. Sat on the edge of the bed and stared at the wall. My phone buzzed. Text from my brother. "Just saw the pictures. What the hell happened?" I typed back. "She filed for divorce and threw a party. I showed up with a cop. Everyone left." "You okay?" "No." "Need me to come over?" Not tonight. I'll call you tomorrow. I turned off my phone and lay down. Sleep didn't come. Around 2 a.m., I heard footsteps outside the door. A soft knock. Tom. I didn't answer. Can we talk? No. Please. Tomorrow. She stood there for a minute. Then I heard her walk away. Morning came with light through unfamiliar curtains and the sound of Jennifer moving around downstairs. I showered, dressed, and went down. She was in the kitchen, scrubbing wine out of the couch cushion. Coffee's made, she said without looking up. I poured a cup and sat at the table. We need to talk. I know. Why did you file without telling me? She stopped scrubbing. Because every time I try to bring up problems, you fix them. But you never fix the real problem, which is that we're not compatible anymore. Implying we used to be. We were. In the beginning. But people change. What changed? I don't know. Everything. We want different things. Like what? I want adventure. You want routine. I want stability. That's not the same as routine. It feels the same to me. I set down my cup. Did you meet someone? She looked up. What? Did you meet someone? Is that what this is about? No. You're sure? Yes. Because if there's someone else, I need to know now. There's no one else, Tom. I promise. I studied her face. She looked tired. Honest. Sad. I believed her. Then why the party? Because I needed people to tell me I was doing the right thing. And did they? Yes. But you still don't believe it. She sat down across from me. I believe I'm unhappy. I believe something needs to change. I just don't know if divorce is the answer. So you filed papers and threw a party on a maybe. I needed to do something. I felt stuck. You could have talked to me. I tried. Not hard enough. She wiped her eyes. What do you want me to say? I want you to admit that throwing that party was selfish. That humiliating me in front of strangers was cruel. That filing papers without a conversation was cowardly. Okay. It was all those things. Say it like you mean it. It was selfish. It was cruel. It was cowardly. I'm sorry. I nodded. Thank you. What happens now? I don't know. You filed papers. That's not something I can ignore. I can withdraw them. Can you? Or are you just saying that because I showed up? I don't know. Then we're back where we started. You don't know what you want. And I'm stuck waiting to find out. That's not fair. You're right. It's not. So here's what's going to happen. You have 1 week to decide. Either you withdraw the papers and we go to counseling, or you move forward and we split everything. But I'm not living in limbo. 1 week. 7 days. That's generous considering you didn't give me any warning. She nodded slowly. Okay. And until you decide, you're sleeping in a guest room. I'm taking the master. Tom. Those are the terms. Take them or leave them. She looked at her hands. I'll take them. Good. I'm one of my brothers for the day. I'll be back tonight. Clean up the house. All of it. I don't want to see any evidence of that party when I get home. I grabbed my keys and left. And my brothers. I told him everything. He listened, shaking his head. She threw a divorce party before serving you. That's next level. It gets worse. 40 people knew before I did. Did you recognize any of them? A few. Most were strangers. She invited strangers to your house to celebrate leaving you. That's psychotic. That's Jennifer. He handed me a beer. What are you going to do? I gave her a week to decide. And if she doesn't withdraw the papers, then I file a response and we split everything. You okay with that? No. But I'm not okay with any of this. I stayed at my brother's until evening. When I got home, the house was spotless. No balloons. No banner. No stains. Jennifer had even replaced the broken picture frame with a new one. Same photo. Different glass. She was in the kitchen making dinner. Something with chicken and vegetables. She looked up when I walked in. I cleaned everything. I see that. And I called everyone from the party. Apologized. Told them I made a mistake. Good. I also called my sister. Told her she was wrong to encourage me. What did she say? That I need to follow my heart. Your heart through a divorce party. Maybe don't follow it. She smiled a little. Sad but real. Maybe. We ate in silence. When the dishes were done, she went upstairs. I heard the guest room door close. I sat on the couch and turned on the TV, not watching, just needing the noise. The week passed slowly. Jennifer was quiet, polite. She made coffee in the morning, cooked dinner at night, and stayed out of my way. On day 4, she asked if we could talk. I've been thinking, she said, and I think I was scared of getting older, of being boring. of missing out on something. So you filed for divorce. So I panicked and made a really bad decision. Which part? Filing or the party? Both. Do you still want out? She looked at her hands. I don't know. But I know I don't want to lose you because I was afraid. That's not an answer. I want to try. Counseling. Talking. Whatever it takes. You're sure? I'm sure I want to try. That's not the same as being sure about us. I know. But what I have right now. I thought about it. 7 years of marriage. Good years, mostly. This past year had been hard, but not impossible. Maybe worth fighting for. Maybe not. Okay, I said. We'll try. But I have conditions. What kind? Full transparency. No more secrets. No more parties. No more filing papers without talking to me first. Deal. And you call your lawyer tomorrow. Withdraw the filing. I will. And you apologize. To me. Not because I'm forcing you. Because you mean it. She stood up and walked over to me. Knelt down, so we were eye level. I'm sorry, Tom. For all of it. The party. The filing. The way I handled everything. I was wrong. You hurt me. I know. You embarrassed me. I know. And I don't know if I could trust you again. I understand. But I want to try to earn it back. I looked at her. Really looked. She looked like the woman I married. Older. Tired. But still her. Okay, I said. We'll try. She hugged me. I didn't hug back right away. But after a second, I did. The next morning, she called her lawyer. Withdrew the papers. That afternoon, she scheduled our first counseling session. By the end of the week, we were sleeping in the same bed again. It wasn't perfect. Trust doesn't rebuild overnight. But it was something. A start. And sometimes, that's all you need. 3 months later, we were better. Not fixed, but better. We talked more. Laughed more. Started dating again, like we were new. And the broken picture frame? I kept it. Not the new one Jennifer bought. The original, with the shattered glass. I put it in my office as a reminder. That marriages break. That people make mistakes. But sometimes, if you're willing to do the work, you can put the pieces back together. Not perfectly, but together. And that's enough.